So we should be live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Want to thank everybody for coming today. We have a very special guest on the call with us today. Joe, why don't you introduce our special guest?
Stephen McCullough.
Mr. Stephen McCullough. Hey, Steve, how are you?
That was the best.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing really well. How you doing?
I'm doing great. First thing I want to do is really thank you for taking time out of your day. I know you're really busy with the Core 5 and everything that's going on with KGX. And I know you're probably biting at the bit to let us know what's going on over there. But I wanted to take time out and say thank you because you guys don't have to do this. And it really does mean a lot to us. I'm humbled and blessed that you guys would take the time out of your day to do it.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. We need to get some messages out, and this would be a good platform to kind of do some updates and get some messages out.
Fantastic. Well, you know me, I'm always ready for an update. And I'm always like to be in front of everything. So that's a good thing. So we're going to, in the interest of time, and this is a KGX Core 5 member. So in the interest of time, we're going to get right into it. So if you miss anything, go back and get the replay. We'll get that up as quickly as possible. The first thing I wanted to ask you, Steve, and then I want to get into some of the other things, but the first thing I wanted to ask you was, how do you feel about social media? I know that Joe and I have been talking about social media, and we dedicated the whole month of June to talk about social media. And I just wanted to kind of get a feel for the fact that you've been in this industry for a while and you've seen some changes. I'm sure some positive, some negative. But if you would give us a perspective from your chair, that would be a great place to start.
Okay. I think social media is great, like we all do, but I also think it can attract more people and it can find you more people. But if you don't take those people under your arm, under your wing, and work with them and grow with them and support them and contact them and build a relationship with them, it's a waste of your time. Network marketing comes from way back, and it was always about relationships. Like, for instance, if I brought you into this program, the way I become the most successful is immediately work with you through your contacts, because you have relationships with those people. You have credibility with those people. That's why when some people come into the industry at the very beginning, they go, I'm not accomplishing much. Well, that's because they haven't built these relationships with people, and they don't have the relationships or understand you got to work back through the relationships. So if social media brings me someone in South Africa, as in your case, I watched what happened over the last 2 weeks. Excuse me. Now the key is, okay, great, you got a team in South Africa, but now you've got to build a relationship with that person, a relationship with that team, because even though you brought that person, it may be someone down in that team where you get lucky. I always like to talk about lucky, okay? Because I want you to know you can get lucky. And you feel like a couple of weeks ago you got lucky. Do you feel that way?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay, because luck is a big deal in this, and without luck, man, this would be hard. And so you got to think about, see, look, you got to think about, I just got to get lucky. You know, how do I get lucky? Okay, I signed up this person, and here we go, and they go do their social media, and I do my social media, and we all do our social media. But when you reel somebody in or you hook somebody up, you have got to get in contact. You've got to build a relationship. You've got to build a long-term personal relationship. You've got to do 3-ways with them. You've got to do Zooms with them. So basically what social media does is brings them to you. And then from there, you got to go to work with them. Okay. And then, of course, you keep using social media. It's like I got like 25 fishing poles on the side of the pond instead of one. Okay. And so I catch 3 or 4 more bites than one, and a lot better chances. But once I got that fish, that big fish, that little fish, I got to reel them in and work with them. And so social media lets you put yourself out there. So like these Facebook Lives that people do. Facebook Live is a great idea. You know, I wouldn't make them very long, but like 3 to 5 minute Facebook Lives where you give a message, a motivational message. And I'm going to be asked a question here in a few minutes, which is a message I would give on Facebook Live. And so social media is awesome, but stay out of politics. Leave your politics way over there. And I, you know, I'm a Christian. Leave your religion over there too. Okay. That's not negative, because there's 2 people right here on the screen right there. There's 2 of y'all that I see, Joe and Chris. And let's say that, and I don't know what the truth is, it doesn't matter, but let's say that you lean one way in politics and he leans the other way 100%, like 100%. So if I choose to put out there what I do, I'm going to attract you and Joe's going to hate me. There is no in between. And so
Right.
you have got to ditch your politics now. You know, because I've got strong political beliefs, but I also believe everybody has the right to believe, okay, in what they want to believe in. And I just believe in prosperity. I believe in prosperity. I believe that the whole government should be set up so that we can prosper and that it nurtures people to prosper. That's my belief, okay? That's not politics. That's just my belief. And so leave politics alone. Don't tell me if you like Trump. Don't tell me if you don't like Trump. Don't tell me if you like Obama. Don't tell me if you don't like Obama. Because the minute you do, I got one of you and I lost the other one. And what we want is 100% of the people to go with us, because I was in Chicago last week, and I can promise you, if you brought up politics and you weren't leaning the right way, 90% of the room was walking out the door. So you gotta realize you do not know who your audience is, and you don't agree with everybody's political views, and you don't agree with everybody's religious views. But I don't care. I don't care what your views are. You have a right to your views. So use social media to attract people. Leave politics off social media. Don't get in rant and raves and fights with people on social media. Don't post anything that could get people to attack you and then you defend yourself, because it's not going to work out well for you. This is if you're going to use social media, you got to go, okay, this is one world and I'm a part of every bit of it. And I want to work with everybody possible to become successful. And so I just have to be smart enough in business to know that politics and religion don't belong in business. Okay?
That's a fantastic answer. Thank you, Steve. I know that Joe's got a question he wants to ask you, but before he asks that, I want to ask you, you know, we've seen a lot of volatility this week in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and this is specifically about cryptogenics. So for those folks that are not in cryptogenics, you guys forgive us for a minute. We're going to go down a rabbit hole for just a few minutes. But how does this 20% drop that we've had in Bitcoin, how does that affect cryptogenics and the people in cryptogenics?
Well, it could affect us terribly, but okay, I'm going to make a long story short on this one for the people who aren't cryptogenics. We do what we call binary bonus pay, and I think what we should do is call it double pay, triple pay, and quadruple pay in the binary. And so we've been paying triple pay and quadruple pay. So whatever you're supposed to make, you got times 3. Whatever you're supposed to make, you got times 4. And believe me, it makes a big difference. And so what we've had to do this week, you know, when we did, I see that smile. There's some big smiles out there, I promise you. What we were going to do when we designed the company was we were going to let our payout do this, okay? We were going to let it go, okay, if you're supposed to make 100, you make 95. If you're supposed to make 100, you make 105. If it goes up and down, depending on which way it played to the advantage of the company and you. Well, that would create a problem, because if you were supposed to make 100 and you made 95, you go, I made 95. And now you're all negative. So what we decided to do this week, we've been paying, like I say, triple pay and quadruple pay. What we're going to do is we're going to pay double pay this week. Double pay is still good, but we're going to pay double pay so we don't have to affect anybody's commissions. So in long story short, Bitcoin dropped 20% in 7 days. That's the number. Believe me, I'm tracking it. It dropped 10% after about day 3 of the week, and then it went ahead and dropped 10 more percent in the next 4 days. So basically what happened was we took in this money, and then it fell. The value of our money fell because it's in Bitcoin. So there's your negative, okay? But here's your positive in the long run. Cryptogenics isn't based on Bitcoin. It pays in Bitcoin, it accepts Bitcoin, but it's based on $300. And so I watched companies over the last year or two that whenever Bitcoin went up, the company owners would say, the way Bitcoin goes, we just want to do what we're doing and keep everybody paid the amount they expect. And so since we are paying double binary bonus pay this week, everybody be happy. And everybody who was supposed to make $100 on a sale or $500 on a mining rig sale, they'll make that 100, they'll make that 500. They'll see no adjustment in those fees. And so that kind of answers the question. And we'll always be based off of $300 and off of the US dollar. So that keeps us steady, that we know what it costs to get in and get involved and go around the world with our program. Okay?
Okay. Hey, Steve, how'd the boot camp go? Did you like it?
The boot camp was shocking. It was, honestly, it was probably the most enlightening thing I've ever been involved in my life. And because we were asked to help put together a Bitcoin boot camp about 2 weeks before it went on, okay? And so it was like I was sitting in Chicago and said, hey, can you assist? So I made 3 phone calls. We flew in trainers from all over America, and we assisted. Now, we didn't know how it was going to go, and I'd never done one. And so what we did was we lined up actually about 4 speakers, and we had them speak twice, once in the morning and once in the afternoon, 20 to 30 minutes apiece. And we lined it all out like if you were brand new to cryptocurrency, the first thing we want to do is we want to teach you, okay, here's the evolution of money. Here's what cryptocurrency kind of is and why you should get involved in. Okay, here's how you buy your cryptocurrency and store it in the wallets. And then it went to mining and trading and ICOs and blockchain. And so if you didn't know what cryptocurrency was or even how to spell the word Bitcoin, and I'm going to say that for a reason because we had a Q&A session, which was awesome. And one of the guys says, okay, with Bitcom, okay, that's where the world is, okay? And so he asked a very smart question, but he didn't even know how to say Bitcoin, okay? And so if you walked into that room that day, it was a 6-hour seminar about cryptocurrency and everything about it. We basically wrapped cryptocurrency up in a beautiful little package and put a bow on it and handed it to you in 6 hours. And at the end of the day, if you had walked in as an accident and didn't even know what the word Bitcoin was, at the end of 6 hours, you would have went, I got this. I got this. But what you would have also said was, I think I need those 45 lessons because what we did was paint the whole picture from beginning to end and let you see how you could fit in it, because some people might want to get involved and get in trading. Some people might want to do ICOs. Some people might want to do mining. Some people might want to help us teach the world. There's all different choices of what you want to do, and we're all different. And some people might not want to have nothing to do with helping us teach the world, and that's okay with us, okay? But our goal is to educate people. So by the time we got done, we had warned people. We had told people about the scams. We had told people about how we research ICOs and how there's big scams there, and how I think it was a Rise got locked down by the SEC or the FTC a week or two ago with $600 million in it. And so Cryptogenics is here to educate people and protect people from the industry that we're educating you to enter in. So I'm talking long on this for a reason. It was shocking. It was absolutely shocking. It was so shocking that we had 211 people show up. Okay, so they promoted this little Bitcoin boot camp for 2 weeks and 211 people showed up. And at the end of the day, when we got to 4:30, we knew that at the end of the day, we were going to do a presentation, which I felt kind of awkward about doing a presentation. You know, we did a Bitcoin boot camp. We're going to do a little bit of Cryptogenics presentation. So what we wanted to let people know was, hey, that was the boot camp. And we're going to do a short presentation to show you how you can buy our education if you want it, or you can help us teach the world. No pressure. You know, really wanted to not make people feel like there was a bait and switch. And it wasn't, okay? And so we did our little presentation, and 211 people showed up that morning, and there were 203 people in the room when we were done at 5:30. That's shocking. And everybody was taking notes, and we learned a whole lot from how it should be done. And we were a little bit out of order because it was our first one ever. And so then a couple came up and interviewed me, very, very professional people, by the way. And a couple came up and interviewed me, and they said, how many boot camps have you done? One. And they said, one. I said, one. And they go, how much did y'all rehearse? None. They went, none, but none. And so they said, well, let us tell you who we are. We do boot camps all over America for companies. Different companies, not cryptocurrency. And they said, this is one of the best boot camps we've ever seen. And we do boot camps for a living. And it's like, that was when I knew how good we had done. And then people would come to us, and, you know, there's three owners there and 4 or 5 other people, and Dr. Kenneth and his team were there. And everybody was coming up and saying, here's how it went, here's how it went, here's how it went, here's how it went. It was raving reviews. And I watched it. You know, I was kind of sitting at the back of the room watching to see how we could do better. And believe me, I know how we could have done a lot better. And it still went really, really, really well. And what we did was, after we would talk about a subject, because realize something, you never even heard the word ICO. You know, you never even heard about that. Mining, what's mining? You know what I mean? And so what I would do after every 2 or 3 speakers is I would do a Steve McCullough recap of, okay, let me explain what an initial coin offering is so you get that. And then I'm going to tell you how dangerous it is and how good it could be, but how dangerous it is. And then the mining thing, and how, you know, and I would recap it like me and you talking in layman's terms, which is what the world needs to hear cryptocurrency in. And that's how I would kind of keep it tied all together. And it was phenomenal. So the next question would be, what are we going to do about it? Well, we figured something out. This is the way you introduce the world to cryptogenics. This is the way you introduce the world of cryptocurrency. I mean, we know what we did and could have done better. And we would even stop at the very end and say, now, with a nice little talk, we're going to let you know that you can help us teach the world, and you can make an affiliate markup fee if you want to, or you can take our education, or you can leave the room if you want to. We're not going to be offended because we came here to teach you and get you to a certain place, to know that this is where the world's going. Because we didn't just teach them about cryptocurrency. We taught them about the big picture of the world's move to cryptocurrency. So people who came into the room in the morning that didn't have any clue they needed to be involved in cryptocurrency are now involved in cryptocurrency. and they want to be involved in cryptocurrency because they missed the internet boat. I'm 54 years old. I know I look 39. That's what I always tell my grandkids. But anyway, and my voice sounds 39. but there's going to be two things that happen in my life. They're going to be shocking. One was the internet, and two is cryptocurrency. And I can promise you there won't be anything bigger than those two things that happen in my lifetime. And so I want to be a part of cryptocurrency. And that boot camp showed me how we could create a presentation called Cryptogenics Bitcoin Bootcamp. Now, let me make you understand something. When we did the presentations, no one knew we were Cryptogenics. We went through the whole day with professional speakers speaking on items. We were not selling Cryptogenics. That was not the idea. And in the very end, we said, okay, we're going to do a presentation of how Cryptogenics. By now, we'd had a couple of breaks, and everybody said hello and shook your hands and began to realize this is a team working together at Cryptogenics. And so what we're doing now is we're putting together a Bitcoin Bootcamp PowerPoint, one PowerPoint, from beginning to end that should last 5 hours. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that same PowerPoint and we're going to cut it down to really, really small, a condensed version PowerPoint that you, Chris or Joe, could take 6 or 7 people in a room and you could do a mini boot camp in about an hour and a half. And then you could take that mini boot camp and they're going to go, oh, so this is what it all is. Because when we do our presentations and we present Cryptogenics, it's like we bring you in, we kind of shock you. We tell you, here's how we're going to teach the world. Here's how you can make money. Come on, go with us. Well, that's really nice. But what if you understood cryptocurrency and why you should be involved a little bit more? Then the presentation would make 100 times more sense. Okay? Yeah. So we're creating a full-blown boot camp. We're creating a mini boot camp that the members will be able to have to give to people. And then we did video the boot camp and we'll get it live. We videoed the entire boot camp, all 6 hours of it. But we should be able to do the boot camp in 4.5 to 5 hours. We had some other players in it that we weren't quite in control of the whole boot camp. And so how do I feel about the Bitcoin boot camp? It changed people's lives that day. And that's what you want to do. It changed their lives. It opened their eyes up. They got it. They saw it. I mean, there's a lot of really intelligent, we're intelligent people. Mm-hmm. But I can't speak Spanish. Okay? And a year ago, I couldn't speak crypto. Yeah. Well, in 6 hours, I get a fast course on I can speak crypto now. And I learned just enough to know I probably need to know a little more. And the 45 lessons at Cryptogenics is what little more you need to know. It fills in all the blanks of what we did in 6 hours. So the Bitcoin Bootcamp, companies evolve, just like we evolved and we went to double binary pay and triple binary pay and all that. And we evolve, and Cryptogenics, without even knowing it was going to happen, evolved in a really big way. And y'all will see that over the next month or so. And we'll start getting ready to do these boot camps. Because I talked to my dad, he's like 82 years old. And I talked to him after the boot camp. He said, how'd you go? I said, you should have been there. And he goes, I'd like to have been there. I go, no, that ain't what I mean. You should have been there. Because if you'd have been there for 6 hours, my dad's really smart. At the end of the night, 82 years old, he would have went, I understand crypto. And that's what we want to do, is we want people to understand crypto. That's all this company is about, is so you can understand it, get involved in it at whatever level or angle you want to get involved, and know that there's huge risk, but we're going to warn you about those risks. And there's rewards, but there's risk. And we're going to warn you. We're going to talk to you about it. We're going to teach you so you don't go fall off a cliff. We don't want to fall off a cliff financially in cryptocurrency, because I'm the best example. I lost 7 Bitcoin and 17 Bitcoin Cash in 1 week. Okay, so don't take my trading advice, okay?
Right.
All right, next question.
Stephen, that was fantastic. I was really excited. I got to see it from a camera's view, and Joe and I streamed the majority of it thanks to your lovely wife. And, just being on this side of the camera, I think the people that were able to get on, everybody I talked to was super excited. They said they learned, that it filled in blanks, that it made the picture whole for them. So, just to give you some feedback from this side, it was fantastic. So tell us a little bit about product translation. Can you do that?
Yeah. Actually, I think I'm going to share the screen for a moment.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I'll unshare when I'm done here.
No worries.
And we'll see what we got going on here. A couple of things. Whatever opens up is what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
Right here, this is an order form. This is the Cryptogenics marketing materials. I'm not going to talk about Cryptogenics very long because I don't know whose one it's called. But we've got this thing built, and this thing's about to go live where people can order business cards, and they can and they can order whatever they need. So I just kind of want to show you all that because I know, now right here, this is, I'm gonna click play for about 10 seconds. Okay, you probably need to be able to speak Czechoslovakian, but right here is the education in Czechoslovakian. So what we're doing right now is, I know I've got something else sitting here. I got to move this stuff around. This is called a localizer, and what this localizer does is it allows us to import languages. And once we import them into the localizer, then it goes to that language. So what we've done is, right here, we'll go to this one. This is right here. This is our website in Hindi. Okay. So here's where we're at on translations from website to education. There, where I'm just going to leave it on the screen. We should have the website and back office translated in 27 languages by Sunday.
Wow.
And then once it's, a lot of companies use Google Translate. And you just can't do that. It works if you have 3-word sentences. And Google Translate's awesome, don't get me wrong. But you can't translate websites with Google Translate. And if you do, it's going to be a mess. And so, we hired like 60 translators back about 2.5 months ago. We had to develop everything in English. There's a process. Okay, you had to develop all the 45 lessons in English. And then you had to develop your website. Then you had to finish your back office and finish your genealogy and how it's all going to look and people are going to navigate through there. And then you had to incorporate that all into spreadsheets and get it across the world to all these translators. So by Sunday, we'll have 27 languages in here. And the programmers, obviously, it's already running. Y'all just don't see this, but we already have Hindi connected. And so Hindi's ready to run. But Bahasa, Malay, Indo, Arabic, Chinese, Simplified, Traditional, Danish, French, German, Hindi, Hungarian, Italian, Swedish, Tagalog, Spanish, Slovenian, Malayalam, Russian, Romanian, Punjabi, Portuguese, Urdu, Korean, Vietnamese, Tamil, Norwegian, and Czechoslovakian, and Thai should all be in-house by Sunday, Monday at the latest, Tuesday if there's one straggler. I mean, there really shouldn't be any stragglers at that point. And then I hand that to our programmers, and we don't have to copy and paste it in there. Then they just form feed it in, at which time, when you're on the front of the website, I'll show you. Right here is the only paragraph that's not Hindi on here, which is, nobody sees this shit anyway, but that paragraph's translated. There'll be a little box right up here. This says login right here, and they'll in Hindi. And there'll be a little box right here with a drop-down menu. And when we'll load them all up there, and then it'll be available in 27 languages, so people will see the first major step of evolution. Okay, we're 10 weeks old. Okay, we're 10 weeks old. Then the next thing is the education. The education, just another big task. Spanish is up and done on our test server. Or development server. I call it test. My programmers call it development. But anyway, and then the Spanish is done. They did a lot of reformatting this week. So we have English and Spanish. Spanish will be probably coming up over the weekend or first next week. But then Portuguese and Swedish are ready to go. And Czech's almost ready to go. And Italian's ready to go. And so as soon as they finish the Spanish, I'm going to hand them about 5 more languages. I think I said most of them just in. And Spanish and Portuguese, that takes the South American market. That means that we'll have the website in Spanish and Portuguese, of course. And then when people log in and go to the education, 45 lessons, audio, video, Spanish and Portuguese. And then Italian, like I said, and Swedish is right there. And Russian's already done. And Filipino, Tagalog is almost done. And then the other languages are following in. They're coming in like dominoes. And there's already like 25 languages that we already have the 45 lessons, text translations done. So what we're going to do is, as soon as we put up these seven languages, and realize something, we're focusing on where we know we're going to grow right now. We're going to grow across the whole world. We're in over 80 countries already, but we're focusing on the languages that matter to us. And so once we get those first 6 or 7 languages completely up, probably about 2 weeks from now, then what we're going to do is go ahead and put up the other 20 languages in text version. Okay. Then as we grow into those countries, we'll spend them tens of thousands of dollars to build those videos. And we can do it really, really fast. It's just all about, there's no reason for us to spend a couple $100,000 at this very moment when we're not growing there yet. We're prepared to grow there. And once the leaders show up and we begin to grow there, we'll snap fingers, get it done, put it on the web. So that's where everything's at. And I feel like it's going really, really well. In fact, it's been this really long tunnel. And I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's my personal tunnel. I'm living with this tunnel. And so I'm beginning to see the light. And when the 27 languages go up on the web, now there's 6 more. but 27 of them will come in, which is the ones I'm concerned with in the next few days. And when the website becomes 27 languages, that's a great step for our company. And then over the next 2 weeks, when we have the major step, including Chinese, by the way, including Chinese, when I never said Chinese, voiced over. So when we put up those 7 or 8 languages in the next couple of weeks, we can cover probably about 40 to 50% of the living world. Wow. And then when we put up the text translations, we can probably cover 90% of the living world. And so we've targeted this where we felt like we can actually market to over 90% of the world. And so that's what we're beginning to do. And speaking of that, something that came up, a lot of people don't understand is why we do this in Bitcoin. Yeah, we've got Zelle Pay and we'll take US dollars, and we're working on this debit thing that it may be up tomorrow where you can pay by debit directly from your bank account in US. But why do we do it in Bitcoin, and why do we want to do it in Bitcoin? I'm just going to go there because you can pay us from anywhere in the world in a matter of seconds. Yeah. And then turn that back over. When we hit pay here in just a little bit, this afternoon, tomorrow morning, whenever we hit send, because we've already seen the pay runs, we can pay anywhere in the world in a matter of seconds. This is why the banking industry should be concerned. This is why cryptocurrency, this is why the governments have really tried to get in cryptocurrency's way, but y'all have noticed now they're getting out of the way. They have to get out of the way. Here's why the U.S. has to get out of the way. The U.S. is the main country that would get in the way. Just how we are, okay? We're going to get in the way because of money and control of money, government things. But the reason the U.S. government has to get out of the way is because the rest of the world got out of the way. Mm-hmm. And if they don't get out of the way, the U.S. is going to fall so far behind in this paradigm shift that it's unfathomable. And so the U.S. government, they're just going to figure out how to regulate it. And that's fine, me. Regulate it. We don't care. In fact, look what regulating it did. They put it on the CME. And now they've got, they're suing 4 major groups because they put it in the hands of the good people on the futures market. And now they've realized that the good people of the futures market have seriously manipulated the value of Bitcoin so they could win in it. So they think we're just out here running rogue. They gave it to the good guys, and it went super rogue. Right. Okay?
I love that, Steve. Thank you for that. One of the most refreshing things for those of you who are listening or might grab this as a replay, for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to spend much time with Stephen, this is really Stephen. Like, he's this way on and off camera. He's this way personally. He's this way business-wise. And I love to get on with Stephen because he cares not, whether he's being politically correct or not, if he's stepping on somebody's toes. The thing is that, when you got something to say, you got to get it out there and you got to say it. If it needs to be said, I say we invite Stephen. So thanks, Stephen.
Yeah.
I appreciate
hey, but leave politics out.
Yeah, leave politics and religion out. We're not messing with it.
But U.S. government, that's not politics. That's just U.S. government.
Yeah, that's
just government.
That's Well,
hey, Joe, you got something else for him?
This is a little bit on that same topic there. Do you think that it kind of helps the United States that some of these hurdles have already been overcome in other countries? Like, everybody else kind of has got to be a little bit of a litmus test for this. And so now when we really put a hard push towards this, we can kind of see what's already happened. How do you feel about that?
I feel that the U.S. government is more strict than any government in the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel that plays in our favor.
That's what that's what I was getting at.
Yeah,
okay.
You and me as people, you let's say that I'm a company owner and you're thinking about getting in business with us. Right. Okay, as a company owner, I'm 54 years old. Mm-hmm. I don't intend to break the law. I don't want to break the law. I don't have anything to do with breaking the law. Okay, and so I want to build a legitimate company, and because I'm in the United States, I have to. Let's go there. All around the world, you don't even know who owns some of these companies. They won't tell you who owns them. Why won't they tell you who owns them? They say, for privacy reasons. Yeah, it's for privacy reasons when they run out the back door with everybody's money, because that's what happened. Okay, so the fact that we're in the United States and that we're under such stringent regulation, good. Mm-hmm. The same fact that we're in the United States and we're under such stringent regulation, good for you, because you know that we're doing everything to do this right. And I'm gonna go somewhere with this. Okay, like to me, it's all about mining. I think that I don't know much about mining. Let's start there. Okay, I learned more about mining in the last 2 weeks than I ever knew about mining. But what I do know is this: back in the old days, there was the California gold rush. And there was this thing called a vein. It was like a gold vein. The gold veins go down through the earth. Okay, so I want to use that as my example. In the next 5 to 7 years, mining will become one of the biggest things the world has ever seen. It's a vein. It's a one-time vein. It's its own vein inside the cryptocurrency space. And so we market mining rigs, okay? And they're $3,750. Oh, God, that's expensive. I don't want to buy that. Okay, don't. Okay? But realize there's this huge vein. And you don't have to buy them, but there's people that want to buy them. And so you need to be marketing to that vein, and you need to be getting your piece of that gold find, the gold rush, okay? And so it doesn't matter if you want a mining rig or not. It doesn't matter if I want a mining rig or not. What matters is there's millions of people that want mining rigs. And I'm going around down this mining path for a reason. So what happened is over the last 3 or 4 years, there were these huge scams. First, there was the trading scams where you give us your money, we'll give you 1%, 2%, double it, this, triple it, whatever, you know. We can name the names, we're not going to them. They're all gone, okay? They were scams. Anytime that somebody guarantees you any type of income returns on anything, it's a scam. It's a flat-out scam. Who could have said Bitcoin was going to go to 19,000, then to 12, then to 6,400, yet guarantee you 2 to 3% returns a day on your money you give them, your Bitcoin, while Bitcoin's going just like this, you know? And so those are scams, and so that came through. Well, then on the tail end of the trading scams are now the mining scams, okay? And so let's define a mining scam. Well, let's just define the law a little bit. In the United States, I'm going to give you a few names: cloud mining, crowd mining, group mining. You know, I say all those different words because people call it different names. Here's what that means. That means that there's 3 of us on the screen right here that I see. That means that we go to this company and we all buy a piece. So there's a server there. A mining rig's a server, okay? It's a computer. And so we buy it, and there's 3 of us. So now we're all 3 inside there. Me and you 2 own the inside of that mining rig, and we supposedly own the proceeds. But we don't. First of all, because since the 3 of us own it, we don't have the serial numbers or the certificates. That means the company that's selling it to us owns it. And if they own it, that means they can manipulate it. And they can tell you they got to keep this much because, you know, they just got to keep this much and you can have this little bit. And so that's how the global mining scene has taken place lately. It's against the law in the United States. It's flat out against the law. And so the way mining has to be done in the United States is, I'm going to use Chris as my example. I'm going to sell Chris a mining rig. Chris is going to own it. I'm not the company. I'm just a guy. Okay. I'm just in the program, and I'm going to sell you the rig, and you own it. Great. Well, you own it and I make a commission. Great. Well, once you own it, Kryptogenics don't own it. I don't own it. You own it. I mean, that sounds kind of stupid to say it like that, but I have to. And so Kryptogenics don't make any money out of it. I don't make any money out of it. You make the money out of it. Okay. So that's how mining has to take place in the United States, where the individual owns the mining rig, he owns the certificates, and he owns the serial numbers. And the next thing is the mining rigs that we'll offer, they're going to be housed in a number of different facilities over the country over time. Right now, they're going to be in Utah. And so Chris's mining rig's in Utah. But Chris is the only one that can log into it. And this is why we kind of told people about at Chicago, you got to warn people about stuff. You know, you have a wallet, okay? Y'all have Bitcoin wallets. Right. Well, only you have that password, and only you have those keys. And if you don't have those things put somewhere safely that somebody knows they're there and something happens to you, that Bitcoin is gone. Okay? So if you own a mining rig and there's a wallet inside that mining rig, it feeds itself as the mining rig mines, and mining's a whole other subject. Okay? But it feeds itself as mining, and that's your money, and you got to go into that mining rig and you can pull it out and move it to your other wallet out here in the world. Well, that's great, but you better not lose your password because you're the only one that has it. This isn't like email where you retrieve passwords. You know, you have to have these things. So when I'm talking about mining, I want to tell you a few things about it. You got to protect yourself, and you got to watch out. You got to make sure you're getting involved with a company that's done mining legally. And now I'm going to get to the part about Kryptogenics. We're going to be a monster in the mining industry because we do have the SEC attorneys. We do have the marketing attorneys, the top people in the country. And we spend a fortune to have these people to guide us through this because we're not some little fly-by-night company that hopes we're going to make it. Okay. When I came here, you know, I told them you got to put $1 million up for me to get involved to develop this company. And $1 million, so everybody gets scared. Why? Because you've got to be able to run one of these companies for a year to a year and a half with making no sales. You got to. Because to build a company like this, it takes time to build a foundation. Well, thankfully, the company started profiting in week 2. But that doesn't matter. We still had to have that money there to go through what we're going to go through over the next year to year and a half to build this company. But what we're going to go through is we're going to become a monstrous mining company. And that's why I went down this road really strong, because it doesn't matter if you want to buy one. It doesn't matter if you cannot afford one. That does not matter. What matters is there was a guy that bought 5 last night. Yeah. Okay? A guy bought 5 last night. That's interesting, isn't it? Somebody sold him 5. What do they make per rig, Chris?
$500 on the rig and 3 cryptonary points.
Okay. So that guy sold 5 rigs last night. It's nice income. I got him buy 5 rigs last night. He sold them. And so there's this huge vein across the world that we're just beginning to explore. And they're beginning to realize, hey, that cryptogenics company, they're doing it right. They're doing it legal. They're coming out and saying how come it's legal and what's not legal to make sure everybody knows so you don't get involved in more scams, because there's a lot of them. And we're going to become a very big player in the mining industry. Over the next 2 years, we'll be a monster in mining. And it'll be people like you and people listening on this call that are involved with us that may never buy a mining rig. Yeah. It may sell 10 to 100. Okay? And so don't think you have to be involved in the mining to sell the mining rigs. There's people, it shocks me when we see these orders come in 2, 3, 10. Because there's that one slide, on our presentation says you cannot buy more than 10 per month. Well, you're going to laugh at that. 10 per month? Are you kidding me? That's $37,500. Okay, well, a guy bought 10 3 days ago. Okay, so that customer is there, and you need to realize that customer is there. So anytime you ask me a question, Chris and Joe, no, I'm going to take it and turn it into 4 answers.
That's good.
I'm going to go where I want to go with it, because it's about education to me. We educated people on mining rigs this last week. We've educated people on ICOs in Chicago. We educated people on this. Don't leave your money in the exchanges, okay? What you need to do is whenever you have Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and you're doing this trading thing, okay, you go out there and you make your trade. And once you make your trade, if you're trading, and I'm not advising you to trade, but if you're trading, then pull it down to your cold storage wallet and get it where it can't be stolen, okay? And that's why I went into that crazy mining thing and password thing a few minutes ago, because they're saying that realistically 30% of all cryptocurrency has been lost.
Wow.
30% of everything out there has been lost. Why has it been lost? Lost my password, lost my keys, lost my computer, lost my detachable cold storage wallet. What's a cold storage wallet? Okay. A cold storage wallet is like a thumb drive, but it's designed to plug into your computer, put your cryptocurrency on it, and then unplug it and go put it in your safe or your safety deposit box, because it's not connected nowhere. Nobody can steal your money. And then we talked about in Chicago, a lot of people carry their phone. Mm-hmm. And they have all their cryptocurrency in this phone. And this phone is the worst place in the world to be having all your cryptocurrency access to. Because if someone gets your phone and you're not passworded right and they're a hacker, it's like this. Let's just say, we'll use a big number. Let's just $100,000. Let's just say that you have $100,000 in cryptocurrency. And let's say you have $100,000 money order. Okay, you got both. Are you going to carry that money order around in your wallet, in your back pocket, Chris?
No, sir, absolutely not.
Then why would you carry it here? Okay, because there's your wallet, and there's $100,000 in it, and if it goes, it's gone. So, and we told stories about people, there were people who lost $250,000 and just like that by losing their phones and being hacked through. So hackers are out there. This is the new wave, the new phase of the world. They hack the banks, they hack our email, they hack our data. They're going to hack cryptocurrency. And so you might as well be prepared in advance to not be hacked by cryptocurrency. And get your keys. Some people don't even know what keys are, okay? So let's go there for just a second. When you set up a wallet, 2 things happen. It gives you keys. Usually it's 12 words, like dog, cat. It's not really that, but canary, chicken, possum. Okay, you've got to write down those keys, and you've got to put them away right then. Because what happens is if you lose your password, or let's say that you have an Exodus wallet. Let's use Exodus. You download Exodus wallet, exodus.io. It's a very good wallet. And your computer gets stolen or burned or crashes. You can re-download Exodus. You can enter the 12-word key, and it'll regenerate all your coin. Okay? And so these are very important things. So when I do this is a presentation to me. When y'all get me on and ask me questions, I'm going to try to be educational. So it's very, very important that, let's say I live alone, okay? And I've got my keys and I got my passwords and they're in my safety deposit box. And let's say that I'm a hermit, but I've done really well in life and I got a lot of money. Well, whoever I'm going to leave that to, in case something happens to me, there needs to be instructions in a will, and there needs to be instructions already given to that person at the will, then gives them access to that safe, to those keys. And then with those keys and those passwords, because they're not going to have a clue what this stuff is, there needs to be a typed out letter explaining, look, I've got this much Bitcoin, and here's where it's at, and here's how you go get it. And you're going to need to have this phone that's mine. Don't have my phone turned off, because you're going to have to do the two-part authentication. And, so there's processes for you protecting this money long term, but there's processes for you protecting it right now while it's yours. And so everything you ask, I'm going to try to educate, okay?
Good. That's good.
Thank you.
I didn't forgot what your question was, so I hope that went well.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Right on time. It was perfect, man. Perfect.
All right.
I got one for you, Steve. Wait. Who had the last question? Me or you, Chris?
You just keep going.
Just keep going. Okay.
We'll go
Hey, so can you think of like one thing that we could do to make ourselves successful?
Yeah, it's going to be the most shocking answer you've ever heard.
What?
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with networking or this business.
Okay.
I'm going to think of one thing and tell you about three.
Okay.
The key to you becoming successful in this business, I like to do it like we're talking about your life. This is your life. Whoever's listening to me, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. Okay. You may sell cars. You may sell homes. You may network. I don't know what you do, and I don't care. What I would rather do is give you a message to make you understand something. I think there's two keys wrapped up into one. One thing is you have to have a very positive mental attitude, and that's a problem. That's a problem because most people don't. Okay, you kind of do, but you don't. And some people, very, very few people do. Okay, so what you got to do is you got to pick a tape, one tape. You don't need 1,000 books and tapes. You need one. You need one that speaks to you. Okay, and so let's say that Chris has 40 at your house, which I believe you probably do. Okay, what you need to do, and that's not knocking you. That's you educating yourself.
Yes.
You need to pick the one that resonates inside of you. All right. And then anytime you're alone and you're working alone, or when you go to bed at night, you need that tape played. Because what happens is you get into this place in your mind, and your subconscious mind is where you're really you're training your subconscious mind. It's much smarter than you are. And so once you train your subconscious mind to believe something, you can do it. Okay, so it's all about belief. To me, everybody can say whatever they want. To me, it's about belief. If I believe I can do something, I can do it. I'll be persistent. I'll be consistent. I'll put in the groundwork. I'll put in the hard work. I'll put in the phone calls. I'll put in the Zoom calls. I'll put in the legwork. I'll do everything that you think you need to do to be successful if I believe in what I'm doing. Okay, so the only way to get to that level of belief is to train yourself, because you can't get there on your own. And so I'm going to tell you what my favorite one was, and my favorite one's no better than anybody else's. My favorite one is the Think and Grow Rich CD. It's very interesting because every time I listen to it, you hear things, I didn't remember that. It trains your mind. And the other thing is you have to believe it, because I'm not going to go deep thought on you or nothing, but when you go down the road to be successful and you're going to go from here to here, you're already there. And once you're already there, you will get there. Okay? So that was the first piece of the two pieces. The second piece is you've got to write down your goals. And you've got to write the goals where they're very, very short, and they're like a rhyme. By the year 2000, I'm just going to use a fake number, just make up a fake rhyme. By the year 2000, I will earn, let's just say $1 million. Year 2020, sorry, I'm old. By the year 2020, I will earn $1 million. I will achieve this goal by teaching the world all about cryptocurrency. Nothing can stop me. I'll do whatever it takes until it's done, because it is God's plan. That's my goal, okay? That's how I always say my goal. I have a year. I know how I'm going to do it. Nothing can stop me. I'll do whatever it takes until it's done. Those are very broad statements. Nothing can stop me. I'll do whatever it takes until it's done. And it may be because it's your plan. It may be because in your mind it's God's plan. Mine always ends with it's God's plan. And because I'm just going to be honest with you, we don't talk about religion. Everybody has a God, or you don't. Okay, good. If you don't, good. But if you do have a God, let's say, and I don't care who your God is, if you believe he's behind you in the venture you're about to take on, then you believe a lot greater in yourself to achieve the goal. That's how I see it. And so now you've taken some of the weight off of you and gave it to the higher power of the universe. Let's call it the universe to make everybody happy. You've handed it to the universe and said, look, I'm going to do what it takes until it's done. And I know, universe, that you're there to help me achieve this goal. And then you've taken some of the weight off of you. Okay. But now what you've done is you've listened to your tape, and now you wrote down this little simple goal. Okay. By the year 2020, I'm going to earn $1 million. I'm going to achieve this goal by teaching the world cryptocurrency. Nothing can stop me. I'll do whatever it takes until it's done because it's God's plan. Okay. That's a pretty simple, I think that's 6 sentences, you know. And now the thing is this, you got to say it. You got to write it now. You don't have to put it all over your house. Okay. You don't have to come off like some kind of nut job, but you could put it in your bathroom. You could put it in your office. You could put it in there it is. Okay. You could put it in a frame. Okay. You could put it in a frame right here beside your desk, and you could look at it and go, there it is. Visually, I see it. I wrote it down. It's very important that you write it down. Okay, now I've got it written down. I got it framed over there. I see it. Okay, it's all around me now. And now, you know, if you look through my office, there's signs: imagine life without limits. If I start looking around, everywhere there'll always be the first-rate version of yourself. Everywhere around me, there's nothing but positive little bitty messages that I've hung around me. So when I look around, that's all I see. It's about being positive. And you go, I don't believe in myself enough. I just taught you how. You get you that tape set. Your wife's going to think you're crazy. Your husband's going to think you're crazy. That's okay. They're the only person in your house that has to think you're crazy. Okay. You get you that tape set, and when you're working, you listen to it. When you're driving on a trip, you're listening to it. I know if the kids are in the car, you got to play the radio so they'll be quiet. But when you're alone, you listen to it. You got to basically look at it like you got to get yourself tuned into a wavelength. It's out there. Okay. And once you tune into it, okay, how am I tuning into it? We'll go one more time. I'm listening to this tape all the time when I can. Second thing is I'm writing down my goal, 6 or 7 sentences, okay? 6 or 7 sentences. And then once you've got that goal memorized, you can add a couple of more sentences by the year 2025. And see, it may not be about money to you, okay? That's fine, but it kind of needs to be. And the reason I say that is because you've got to have a goal. You're racing. It's like there's a finish line in the 100-yard dash. We're all running to that little string. Okay. Well, if there's no string, there's nowhere to run to. Okay. So you got to set a goal, but you need to set your 2-year goal, which is the one that you repeat. And then over here on this little thing on your wall, you can have your 5-year goal and your 10-year goal. And you want to read those. You want to add those into the mix of your subconscious mind. And I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you this. I'm just going to tell you a financial story. I set a goal in 1994. By the year 2000, I will earn $1 million. I will achieve this goal by teaching the world how to use the computer. Nothing can stop me. I'll do whatever it takes until it's done because it's God's plan. All right. For 1994 to 2000, okay, I had 6 years to make $1 million, which seemed like a big deal, okay? I never did divide it by 6 years. And believe me, that ain't how it worked anyway. So what happened was I never stopped saying the goal. I had to go all around me. I was listening to Think and Grow Rich. I was working on this concept for 4 years. I worked on it. It was broke, dead broke. So now I'm down to 2 years. I'm going, boy, I got this goal. 2 years left. You know, I'm kind of running out of time here. And but you gotta wonder how the universe was looking at my goal, because here's what happened next. Okay, I found the investor. 1998. Went to work. 1999. By the year 2000, I'd earned $1 million. And then the investor was the owner, and he bought me out, and it was over. I didn't have a goal past the year 2000. It was a big mistake. So my goal was empty at the end. And that's exactly, my life played out just like the goal that I spoke. And so you want to have your 2-year goal, and then you want to have your 5 and your 10-year goal, and you want to say them once in a while. But the first thing you want to do is get that 2-year goal ingrained in your mind. 6 or 7 sentences. I'm going to say it for you real slow. By the year 2020, I will earn $1 million. I will achieve this goal by helping teach the world about cryptocurrency. Nothing can stop me. I will do whatever it takes because it is the universe's plan, God's plan, whoever's plan you want it to be, your plan. How many sentences was it?
6.
Okay. So that 6-sentence rhyme, it's kind of a rhyme, kind of a rhyme. I didn't try to make it sound like, but it flows because you've got to let it flow, because once you say it enough, your mind will listen to it when you're not even speaking it. Okay. And every night before you go to bed, you got to say your goal. Last thing before you go to bed, by year 2000, I'll earn $1 million. I'll achieve this goal. And you might say it 10 or 20 times. Okay. It's sheep jumping over the hill. That's you saying that goal. And so the last thing that your mind hears when you go to sleep is you affirming what you're going to do. And it'd be nice if somebody doesn't mind if you could be playing your favorite tape over there on your side of the bed, real quiet. You'll kind of help you soothing to go to sleep. And then when you wake up in the morning, first thing you do when you crawl out of bed and head to the shower is by the year 2000, I will, or year 2020. I'm stuck on 2000 now. But you have to convince yourself. And once you convince yourself, the rest of the world will follow. And that's just how it works. And so that's my motivational moment of this is how I feel like it's. Everybody has their own way of doing things. But don't let me step on your way, okay? I'm just telling you how I did it. And I'm telling you how I see it. And how I think that I can take it and go ABC, 6 sentences and 1 take, and you're off to the races. Because once it's not like you're looking at yourself in the mirror going, are you convinced, Steve? Are you convinced, Steve? No, it's like inside your mind, you're convinced. There's no doubt. And once there's no doubt, well, folks, there's just no doubt. And so what I would do when I was training across the world, like, okay, I'm a guy from Oklahoma. I never did presentations up until 1998. So what else did I do? Now, this is something else. I got nothing to do with goals. This is kind of funny, actually. Stand in front of the mirror and present. I did it for 4 years with no company. I stood in front of a mirror and I presented. And I would present like 10 and 15-minute presentations of how I'm going to teach the world. And I had it down. I really thought I had it down. And then in 1998, when it began, I sucked. I was terrible. And I practiced for 4 years. Okay, how can I do this if I practiced for 4 years and I'm so pathetic? And so then, just to give you a little more coaching, sorry we're going a little long here, tell a story. Never do a presentation, ever do a presentation. Never do a presentation, ever. Always tell a story. And when you tell a story, the presentation fits in the story. But this is all about stories. I just told you a story of how I set a goal and I achieved it by the year 2000. It was a story. So I can tell you a fishing story. I can tell you a great deer hunting story. I can also tell you a story about life that ties to a program, a concept, an idea that by telling that story, it makes me comfortable on the stage and it makes the person sitting in the audience comfortable because, hey, everybody loves listening to stories. So as you practice your presentations, because I don't know what you're going to do in life, but you're going to have to practice to be good at it. As you practice, stand in front of a mirror, look at your mannerisms. Don't walk around too much. It's kind of hard to follow the bouncing ball. Get people's control, get them caught and tied in with you, and then present to them. And it all comes back. This is my summary of everything I said, to belief. If I believe I can, and I'm convinced I can, and now, you're me now, it's you. If you believe you can, and you're convinced you can, and you've done all this training and your mind knows you can, far beyond your own beliefs, then anybody in front of you will believe you. And if they believe you, they will go with you. That's the key. It's all about belief. Success is about belief. If you believe you can, you can. Now, how do you get yourself to believe? That's the key. And that's what I think we just covered the best I could in my little Oklahoma way. Okay?
Thank you, Steve. Joe, we had some great questions today for Stephen, and we kind of prepared, which is, by the way, Stephen, we don't really do that. Usually we just shoot straight from the hip. So, we actually did prepare for you, and I'm glad that we did, because I feel like not only did you paint a beautiful picture, not only did you answer the questions, but you also, in your very special way that you do, you gave us a lot of Steve, which is really what I was looking for. I wanted your personality to kind of shine. I wanted you to come out in the interview process. I wanted people to kind of get to know you. And we're definitely, and I think Joe will agree with me, we definitely want to accept your offer to, come on anytime you like. I know that you had made mention that maybe we would, use it as a channel to just update everybody on cryptogenics. That's beautiful. I love that. So we're going to welcome you back. We're going to ask you to do that. We can tighten schedules up and take care of that as well. The one thing that I want to say to you, Stephen, is this, and I don't know if it means anything to you, but it definitely means something to me. I think it'll mean a lot to the people that are listening. Because of you and your leadership, my belief is higher. And that sounds funny because we're supposed to, each one of us is independently responsible for our own belief and faith level. However, when I plug into you, it's like re-energizing. And so thank you for that. I just want you to know that. I want people to understand that goes for you today, because you're on this call, and I mean that sincerely. I get the bumps. But when I talk to the core 5 people, and I think, Joe, I think you and I had a conversation about this when we plug into the core 5. It's a similar reaction. It's a similar feeling. Everybody has their own way, but it is definitely a similar feeling. So with that being said, really sincerely thank you for coming today and helping us to do this. Yes, Joe.
Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I didn't know why Joe was raising that hand.
Yeah, like, can I say something? Man, sorry. I know we're running late here, but man, I wasn't expecting near this. You know what I mean? That's something that right now, I'm not right here. I'm in here right now. And from what you said, Steve, and it's all registering. You know what I mean? And I'm serious, man. People need to hear this, and they really do. And I'm not one of these kind of people that go, oh, I'm going to believe in your plan and your program and all that stuff. If it doesn't touch me, and if I don't believe it, then I'm just going to whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? But man, that was, the things that you just went through in the very end there, especially, that's incredible. You know what I mean? That's how a person builds their life. You know what I mean? Builds their families and things like that. And man, if anybody got anything out of this whole show today, get that. You know what I mean? That's the real important part. And man, thank you, really. I mean, seriously, I can't hardly talk right now. It's just, I'm in thought, you know what I mean? And thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Well, I appreciate being here, but I'm going to touch back on it again.
Okay.
This company is going to be built based upon people's belief levels.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because there's always that beginning. There's always the building of the foundation. There's always I wonder if it's going to work. There's always, everybody has that, and no matter what they do, but once you see past that, you go build the house. You know what I mean? The foundation's almost here. You go build the house. And, we're doing well, 10 weeks, 80 something countries, languages. We've already went over it all. I feel like we're at June the 14th. I got to take a week off somewhere in the next 2 weeks and take my wife on our 30th anniversary. So, hey, I believed in staying married for a lifetime.
Yeah. We'll clap for you.
But anyway, I believe that over the next 4 weeks, you'll see most of this come up, like we just talked about, and we'll be a whole new company. Right. We'll be a global company, and then people believe a little bit more. Yeah. And it's all about painting a beautiful picture and making sure you have the money. It's about money, folks. We have the money. I want you to be assured if you go with us, we have the money. We're going to be here. We're going to be here whether we're making any sales or not. That was the goal. And so we'll go out and build this company. And it all begins with a dream and an idea. And just one last thought about our company. It's all about timing. It's all about timing. And the people who came into that room in Chicago, I can almost bet you that 85% of them didn't know what cryptocurrency was when they walked in the door. That's timing. How come 85% of some people could walk into a room and not know about cryptocurrency? Because it's all about timing. This company is ahead of its time, and it's coming out globally so it can be in the perfect place at the perfect time. That last company I built was all about timing. But wait a minute, you worked on it for 4 years. Yes, I did. And in 1998, timing was perfect for what I thought of in 1994. So it was just that big of a gap for people moving to the internet. Well, so there's this time lapse of people moving to cryptocurrency, and it's all about timing. And that's why I believe we have such an incredible opportunity ahead of us in the educational industry and the mining industry, because it's all about timing. And so now here we are. And if you believe it's all about timing and you believe in what you're doing, or you want to go sell cars tomorrow, get your tape, set your goals, and go sell more cars. Whatever you want to take this thought for, go do it. But you'll figure out if you go to bed happy and you wake up happy with a good common goal in your mind to move forward, you'll have a happier family and a happier life. That's what Joe just touched on. Everything around you will be happier. And then what you're going to find out is you're going to ditch all the negative people that you know.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to tell you that, but you're going to have to get rid of a few people you thought were friends that are just dragging you down. Because I just can't stand to be around somebody who's negative. It's like a black plague crawls on top of me, and I just walk the other way. So I just thought I'd throw that in there, because anybody who's beating you up and telling you can't do it, get rid of them. Just get rid of them so you can move on and get into your own head and your own space and move on in your own world, whatever world that is.
Absolutely.
Right.
Joe, you rounded that out beautifully.
Well, thanks.
I thank you for that. Guys, it's been a pleasure. We ran over a little bit today, but that's okay. That's beautiful that people stuck with us. So that means that we were giving them what they wanted. So that's a beautiful thing. Steve, I'm going to get this up within the next couple of hours. I'll make sure that you get a personal copy.
Put it on the blog. Put it on the blog.
Yes, sir. And you guys, thank you for coming. We do this because of you guys. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, 2 p.m. That's our shoot for time. We'll see you then, and we'll let you know when Steve's coming back. So thanks, everybody. Have a great
Bye, everybody.
Thank you all. Y'all have a good day.
Bye.